Hey folks, welcome back to the Play School. It's me, Phil, here again with another piano tutorial. So today we're going to deal with another Elton John song. It's been a minute since I did one of these, and this one is called Candle in the Wind. Lots of you are going to know this song, mainly because it's a great track. Also reworked in 1997, England's Rose for Princess Diana. Now, this song is in the key of E, but the chords are all also in the key of E. So it's a great way to explore how these contract and pivot moves that we've been using in simpler keys apply even when we start throwing in an extra couple of black notes. So, print out the chord sheet from the link below, have that in front of you so you can scribble all over it. That's what pencils are for. Listen close and let's see how this goes. Okay, so as I said, this is in the key of E. F sharp, G sharp, A, B, C sharp, D sharp, E, right? Not essential to know those, but if you do, it's really going to help. So, we're going to start actually on a B chord because the opening to this song is this kind of pretty iconic, which is a lovely little walk down. It's heard all over music, and this is how Elton decides to start this song. So let's do it. We're going to start with a B chord, B, D sharp, F sharp. Okay, we are going to take the bottom and put it, take the top and put it on the bottom, and invert it. It gives us a B in this nice position where we've got our black notes on the outside and a white note in the middle. Put that obviously with a B. And then our little walk down where we go from the 4 chord to the 1 chord, for those of you who are technically minded, is going to go straight to a root position A. And as this left hand walks down, we're going to walk through 3 different chords. A. Now we're going to go to our E chord actually for the first time. We're going to go E, G sharp, B. Take that in, put it on the top because we've already got it in this A chord here. And we're kind of, your thumb's kind of following your bass note down. Okay, so that gives you an E over G, E slash G. And then we're going to continue to follow our left hand down. And this is an F sharp minor chord, which is F sharp, A and C sharp. It's in the key of E, so F sharp, skip G sharp, play A, skip B, play C sharp. Gives us that chord, and we're actually going to step down because that's the effect we're looking for to our root position E chord in order to finish that little sequence, right? So we start with a B, and then step to A, reach to E over G sharp, follow your thumb, follow your left hand down to F sharp minor, and step down to E. And then we're going to go to lead us back into that verse. We're going to go to a B, which is back where we started. And the last chord is a B7 chord. Now, lots of ways we can find the 7 in this particular position. It's great because we're here, and we can just swap our root note, that's the note after which the chord is named, for the note 2 half steps down. And I do mean swap, because we're playing the B here, or both. You do not need to play the B here again. And it gives us this nice little walk down. To the E, the root chord where our verse starts. Okay? So let's do all of that one more time. So start with the B. Now, I'm going to talk to you about 2 things here, which I'll cover in the extra jazz at the end, but I just want to give you a flavour for what that's going to be about, because Elton John is another one of these piano players who's all fingers. Right? And I'm not going to teach you all of that, but I'm going to give you a couple of little techniques that will set you off in the right direction. And here's the first one. First one is a rhythm-based thing, right? Now, all we need to play this kind of is the right notes and a rhythm, right? So we got on the B, and let's say we've got these four notes. As long as, think about, this is your rhythm, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 8th notes, which is half of a beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we've got 16th notes, or semiquavers as they're called in Europe, which are a quarter of a beat. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4. Now, because we're going quite slow, that was like 1, 2, and 1, 2, and. As long as we've got the correct notes of that B chord, and we land those notes on the 16th notes which we want, we're going to end up with a kind of fluid piano part, right? So that's the first part. Your second half is these little kind of grace notes that we're adding in. Whoops, not like that. All we're doing there is we're from this chord, which is A sus2, because B is the second note in an A scale, right? And it's almost like we've hit it by accident, and we want to resolve the problem by going to the C sharp, which is our actual A chord, right? So. So I've added my rhythmic texture twice in that little passage and my grace note on the A. One more time. There's your intro. Right, so our verse has only actually got 2 chords. We're going to vary them up a little bit so that, first of all, we get the same variations as what Elton is using with an E over G sharp again, but also you'll notice there's extra chords in parentheses, in brackets, and those are for our extra jazz later. And the way we're going to learn the chords now will make it easier to implement those changes when we get to them, okay? So let's do it. Right, so we finished here, right? In that position that we played it a minute ago. Up to an A chord, very easy move. We want A in root position. A, C sharp, E. Yeah. Then we're going to go back to E, but this time it comes with a G sharp. Hopefully sounds quite familiar, that. And then back up to A. Okay, so there is your first 4 chords. Goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to hold yourself, and those around you crawl. Okay. Now, we're going to take our E chord here. The crawl out of the wall. Right, back where we started. But later on, we're going to add. I want you to get used to going up there, okay? So we're going to go from E up here, and they whispered into your brain, they set you on the trail, and they made the change you name. So that chord, though, those changes there are A, C sharp, E, and now that stretch away has become a pivot move around this middle E. The E stays the same and the outer notes go downwards and go back up. Okay, so all together we've got goodbye, Norma Jean. Though I never knew you at all, you had the grace to hold yourself, and those around you crawl. Crawled out of the woodwork, and they whispered into your brain. They set you on the treadmill, and they made you change your name. That is your whole verse. Okay, so the chorus is a little more complicated. Again, we've got these bits, right, which we're going to cover at the end. For now, we're actually going to use this. Okay, where we need to, all right? Just bear that in mind when you're listening for the familiar parts of this song, that some of them are coming later, right? So we finished here. So we're actually going to go up to a B here. Okay, now I would maybe take this with 4 fingers. B, D sharp, F sharp, and a B. And it seems to me you lived your life. Okay, we've got the B to that B7. Now our move to find the B7 here is B that we've put at the top. If you ever need to use 4 fingers in a chord, or want to for rhythmic or stylistic purposes, all you do is take whatever note you were playing at the bottom. That's assuming you haven't got 4 notes in the chord. You take whatever note you're playing at the bottom and play it at the top as well. Okay, me, you live, and down to that A to make the 7. Remember that root note drops 2 half steps, and then we go to our like a candle in the wind. So we've gone B, B7. Now, from here we want to get to an E. We need that B, E, G sharp B. So we're going to keep our thumb on it, and then now we've got this like top heavy feeling chord because the 2 notes at the top are quite close together, and this one's kind of stuck out on its own, right? Like a candle in the wind. And then to the A is that pivot move that we did earlier, but backwards, right from the E. Keep the E in the middle, step upwards to the A. Okay, so it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind. And we're going to go back to E, never knowing who to cling to, and drop the octave with the singing as well, apparently. Knowing who to cling to. Now for this one, we're going to go back to our B in root position, but without this pinky. When the rain set in. Okay, so we've got a lovely little trip around kind of the 1, 4 and 5, the common chords in E major as a key signature. Let's do that one more time. It seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. Right, B in root position. And we're actually going to go stepping down, and I would back to that A in root position that we've used before. And I would have liked to have known you. That was down the octave on purpose, but I was now C sharp minor. It's another chord that exists naturally in the key of E. It's actually the relative minor, so C sharp, skip D sharp, play E, skip F sharp, play G sharp. There's your C sharp minor chord. Now, we were playing A, which means you've already got C sharp in E, which makes this a lovely change. All you're going to do, slide your fingers away. Remember that you can use that bit of the E, right? And there, a lovely second inversion, C sharp minor chord, C sharp, E, G sharp. And I would have liked to know you, I was just a kid. And now we're going back to the B chord in the position where we started. And then this is where, at the moment, we're going to mimic the intro. Like you never did. Yeah. And it actually happens twice. Then we go round. And we're back into loneliness was tough for the second verse. So the timing there is a little weird. What I would advise you do is just get very used to hearing it, and that way we don't really have to count that much. So let's take it from would have liked to know you, but I was just a kid. 3. So we finish it off, the legend never did. And then this is almost like we're playing the intro again. And then you're back into verse 2. Now, so let's see if we can work this whole chorus. We've just done, let's go from, let's set you on the treadmill and then made you change your name. And it seems to me you lived your life like a candle in the wind, never knowing who to cling to when the rain set in. And I would have liked to have known you, I was just a kid, kind of burned out long before the legend never did. again. Loneliness was tough. Into verse 2. And that's all we need to know. This song basically goes intro, verse, chorus. We can even kind of include that intro as the very last bit of the chorus we just learned. So it's like intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus, intro, verse, chorus. And then all we need to know for the outro is that no burn out long for, Lord, you never did. The candle burned out long for, Lord, you never did. Twice. And basically timing wise, have a listen, have a copy. Remember that the very last thing that happens is this. You legend never did. There you are, neatly at the end, and that's all you need to know. Okay, so we already talked a little bit about how we can. Okay, so that's, we want to do a little bit more of that. You know about the rhythm thing now, so just throw that in, start simple, and build it up as you become more confident with the chords. Now, with these extra notes, let's go through. Okay, so, they tend to come, like I say, Elton doesn't do these the same every verse in every place. Okay, so I'm just giving you a flavour for something you can work with to get going on this. So the first chord you'll see in parentheses is E sus4. If we just briefly think about our E chord in its root position, these notes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the E scale, right? And whenever we see numbers, we know that we've got something going on with that degree or that note in the scale. With a sus4, for reasons I will not go into, we swap the 3 for the 4, so you end up with. Now in our position, 3 is at the bottom. We've got 3, 5, and then 1. Goodbye, Norma Jean. And why we use it there is because it kind of it preempts that change to the A chord. So there's your E sus4. I think on this occasion probably doesn't actually doesn't even go back to the E there. Like I say, it's not the same every time. Second one is an A add 9. Yeah, right. So what we want to do here is we're actually going to move the A up to a B. It took me a minute to work that out then. So we get this again. What Elton does quite well with this is his little additive notes tend to just lead back to the note we need for the next chord. The reason this one is A add 9, not sus4, just so I don't get comments in the comments, is that because we do still have this C sharp. I'm thinking about this bottom note, just doing a turnaround back to our E, right? And it turns around you crawl. Now that one doesn't have a C sharp, same game, but without the C sharp. I'll talk briefly about this earlier on. We're going to go from this E chord here, and we're going to imagine we're jumping up an inversion. So that's where the G sharp goes to the top, right? But before we get to that, we're going to go to this E sus2. Swap the 3 for the 2, and you get E sharp B, B, E, F sharp, inverted twice actually up to there. And that gives you that lovely little melody on the top. Again, leading up. Good. And then treadmill with the G sharp, right? Again, it's got this lovely like added melodic content because of those extra notes. So that's the verse. In the chorus. And it seems to me literally there on the word cling. Just that G sharp again goes up to the A, the 4. Rain setting again, listen. Leads us down to our F sharp. Okay. So that's those, like I say, they're just a taster of what we can do. And the last thing we need to do, of course, is this. Now, you'll notice that up to now I've been saying that this chord is F sharp minor, which it is and then it isn't, if I'm correct. The first time we're going to go, well, you're looking for this melody, right? You're in an A chord, but we want this on the top. The first time, and then there's our little melodic finish, right? So what we need to do, so that's your first bit, right? A chord, down to your E chord over your G. Now to make this F sharp minor 7, what we're actually going to do is play the F sharp there, A, C sharp and E, because if you think about, that would be down to your F sharp minor 7. There's F sharp major 7 second, F sharp minor 7 for sure, right? But actually what I'd like you to think about is that's an A chord, right? So we've got A, E, right? And the last two are in root position as well, so you can follow your thumb and stay evenly spaced, right? And then we just need to add our little melody, which is the only addition. Okay, it's just and the rest is at the top of your chord, right? And then the second time, exactly the same thing, but all we're doing here is we'll follow it down, F sharp minor, F sharp, A, C, and then E, where all of our verses are starting, right? So let's pick it up from I would have liked to have known you, I was just a kid, candle burned out long before, legend never did. Burned out long before, legend never did. That's how we end it. So have a bit of fun with that. Not a lot there, but plenty of finger exercise to be getting on with. Any questions, comments, you know what happens below. And I will see you in the next video.